Hey everyone, welcome to Best Served Fresh. I'm Mercedes Owens alongside Chris Williamson. We're with you for the next 30 minutes to bring you the latest in sports news and entertainment.
And so much to get today. And we start with Urban Meyer. The Ohio State Board of Trustees met this morning to discuss the allegations that Meyer mishandled domestic assault accusations made against former assistant Zach Smith. Also ongoing is the investigation into the culture at Maryland. And now there are allegations that Jimbo Fisher has committed multiple violations in his first offseason at Texas A&M. Does college football, Mercedes, have a culture problem?
Is this a question that we keep asking over and over and over again? I think that's a clear sign to say, yes, college football has a culture problem. And you played 2 years at Syracuse. I'm sure you have all the stories. You know how it goes.
Yeah, I have a lot of insight into the environment and the intensity of college football atmosphere, especially D1. And I can understand being in an intense environment that I was at Syracuse, where a coach maybe takes it a little too far. I mean, when a kid dies, like he did at Maryland, because of the excessive workouts, you've got to do something, Mercedes.
It's not worth it.
It needs people, these coaches need to be held accountable. These programs, they cannot get away with it just because they bring in a lot of money. And the parents, they trust these coaches to protect their kids, and they're not doing that.
Right, they're kids. They're
Exactly.
at school. They're just kids. What are we doing? And we got to protect the student athletes. And you have to think about the school side of things too, because when they get in trouble for the things that they're doing, it's not good for the school either. It's not good for your fan base. It's not good for your state. I went to SMU and I've seen what a death penalty has done. No, I wasn't there in the 70s, but 30 years later, we're still having a hard time coming back from the death penalty. The football program, I don't know when it'll ever get past that. And it's serious. So something at some point has to change. I don't know what needs to be done. Where do you even start? Because we've let it go on for so long. But at some point, you got to make the change.
Yeah, a lot of questions with that issue. Now, moving on, let's get a fresh take on baseball. The Nationals rallied to beat the Phillies 10-4 last night. Wilmer Difo was 1 of 3 to homer. The Nats will need all they can get from him after trading away second baseman Daniel Murphy and veteran slugger Matt Adams. GM Mike Rizzo said he believes his team still has what it takes to compete, but I'm pretty sure Nats fans aren't buying that message, Mercedes.
Pretty sure or very sure? Because I think we're very sure, like 99.9% sure that we're not buying into this message. Good for them. They beat the Phillies hours after trading away 2 key pieces to their roster, but when you do that in August, something tells me that you're giving up, and I don't know if there's anyone in their front office that can convince me otherwise. Or it doesn't matter what anyone in the clubhouse is saying. You just don't make moves like that unless you've given up.
And for me, it's surprising. You know, being in D.C., we saw them not make any moves before the non-waiver trade deadline, and they were 5.5 games back of first place. Mm-hmm. Now we fast forward to the waiver deadline, and they're 7.5 games back. And he still thinks that they can compete. You trade away one of the best players, best hitters, and Daniel Murphy. Look, the Nationals, they give me headaches.
They're giving up.
They give me headaches.
They're giving up.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Definitely.
For sure. Well, the NL Central got a little more interesting with Adams joining the Cardinals and Murphy onto the Cubs. Chicago also announced that they will shut down Yu Darvish. Is the addition of Murphy enough to keep the Cubs on top in the Central?
I think it is, because they need the run support for their pitchers. They've been struggling. They've scored 1 run in 5 straight games. They've only done that one time, and that was in 1934. So it's been a while since they've had that type of struggles in the offense. Daniel Murphy batting .413 all time at Wrigley Field. .413, Mercedes. Mm-hmm. This guy is going to get them over the top, keep them ahead in the NL Central. I really believe that the Cubs are going to take this division and hold off the Cardinals.
All right, guess we'll see.
Yes, we will. All right, now when we come back, Baker Mayfield is already making waves coming into his rookie year. Can the #1 overall pick help the Browns profile off the field as well? We'll get into it next on Best Served Fresh.
Hello. This is John Dorsey. How you doing, buddy boy? Playing in the National Football League is a blessing. It's a privilege. Not many people get to do it. You know what I mean, buddy boy? That's cool stuff, huh? Yeah. Oh, that's good stuff. It takes dedication. You know what else takes dedication? Being a Cleveland Brown.
That's Baker Mayfield's take on John Dorsey. They're going 16-0 after that. Now time for our fresh take on football. One team that needs a fresh start more than anybody are the Browns. Mayfield could be the man to bring this franchise back from the dead. And check this out. Look at this ad. Tiger not included. Boss, swagger. I mean, even if he's not the starter out of the gate, Mercedes, when's the last time the Browns had such a marketable player?
You know what? Not in my lifetime. I'm
Neither
just
mine.
going to say it. Not in my lifetime, and I'm here for it. I don't care what the Browns do this season. Baker Mayfield is so much fun. He is great for this team. I mean, what do you have to risk?
Got nothing.
You're the Browns.
Right, you're the Browns.
What do you have to
you
risk?
You went 0-16 last year. You bring in a guy like this who can put people in their seats, and he's been showing that he can actually ball. Like his pocket presence, not being scared of the pressure, being able to evade it and get the ball out when he needs to. Even if he doesn't start, right away, Browns fans are going to be extremely excited about my man.
But what do you think, honestly? How many wins can the Browns get this season?
With Tyrod or Baker?
Ooh. I mean, they might need a both. They might. The Browns.
Yeah, they might need 3 quarterbacks. My prediction probably would be, I'd say 5 games.
5 games?
5 games.
Whew, that's a good season for the Browns.
It's a great season.
That's a great season for them. I like it. I like where your head's at.
Yeah.
I think for sure we can get more than 1 win this year. If you start out like that, you're only going up.
Yeah.
Baker's so funny. People are excited about your team for the first time in so long. Why not win? We can win
I
now.
know. He's got that
I
swagger.
say we.
Right, you act like.
I'm here for the underdog.
Hey, underdog stories are really great. Somebody who's trying to prove he still has it, Dez Bryant. The Browns brought him in for a meeting this past week, and no contract. He came away with no contract, so I don't know where this could go, but he's a talented receiver, Mercedes.
Look, I'm going to throw up the X, throwing up.
Wakanda forever now. Wakanda forever.
This is not Wakanda forever. This is throwing up the X. It's Dez Bryant. You throw up the X, right? And I feel like the only reason why he left Cleveland without a contract is because of Josh Gordon. But is that smart for the Browns to think that Josh Gordon is going to come back and be what he could be just right off the bat? Because they're going to need him, or they expect to see him on August 30th. That's not too long away, and to just drop all of the issues that he's been battling in the past. What do you think? Can he just come back from it?
You can't just come back from it, but this guy is really committed to his mental health. We've seen him. This is why he didn't participate in training camp. He stepped away because he knew he needed to deal with the rest of those demons. That's number one, the mental health. So, yes, it's a risk, but I think for the Browns to really not give Dez Bryant a shot, there's got to be a lot of confidence in Mr. Josh Gordon that he's going to return back to what he was a few years ago, a dynamic receiver, somebody that can go up and get the ball, and hopefully he stays out of trouble, no weed, no anything else,
Ooh.
So I think the Browns are making an interesting decision. I don't know if it will lead to success, but I'm hopeful based on how serious Gordon is taking his mental health these days.
Well, in my eyes, when I hear Hugh Jackson say this is going to be the greatest turnaround in sports history, I mean, that's asking a lot out of Josh Gordon for someone who you're concerned about their mental health as well as other things, to put that pressure on him leading up to August 30th. That's a lot.
It is a lot, but if anybody can handle it.
The biggest turnaround in sports history.
Hugh Jackson, I'm going to pray for that man. I'll just pray for him.
Well, we saw another household name find a new home on Monday when Adrian Peterson signed with the Redskins. Chris, what are your expectations?
I like the move. It's a very low risk. They only signed him to a one-year deal, about $1 million. So you have a big possibility of a high reward. And the guy's 33, but he looks like he's 25. The way he's moving, Jay Gruden said he was a physical freak out there, explosive. I mean, he was out there doing more work, looking more conditioned than the young guys, the puppies. So, yes, he's not the same Adrian Peterson that he was when he was with Minnesota. But you can still get a lot out of him, first down, second down, downhill runner. He can teach Darius Geis a lot of things about being in the NFL, different ways to move in the backfield so he can come back from the ACL and just be a boss. I love it. I love the move. I think he's going to do well.
And I like what you said. He doesn't have to be the go-to guy, but at the end of the day, he's still Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
And that's just the fact of the matter. So loyalties aside, who do you think wins the NFC East?
Loyalties aside, I got the Eagles. They're number one. Reigning Super Bowl champs. Why not? Why not, people? Carson Wentz, you put him there, definitely top notch. Nick Foles, yeah, he had a little shoulder problem. He looks like he's going to be ready for that next preseason game. You saw what he did in the playoffs. Nobody believed in them, and they beat the Patriots, okay? They beat the Patriots with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. I like the Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, Washington. They'll fall behind. I don't think it's going to be a tight race, actually.
It hurts me to say that, but I think that we're actually agreeing on something.
This is
Eagles
great.
take the East.
This is wonderful, okay? We actually
We're
agree.
agreeing. We're agreeing.
We can get along. All right, so now we've got a little NFC East rivalry in the studio here, Washington versus Cowboys. We're going to challenge each other. We'll say 3 nice things about the other teams. Mercedes, you're up first. 3 nice things about my burgundy and gold.
The Washington Redskins. I'm from Dallas. I'm a Cowboys fan for life. This was one of the toughest things I have ever had to do. So here we go. Number 1, color scheme. The burgundy is actually really nice, and it looks good on pretty much everyone. So you've got the colors going for you, and I'm a huge fan of gold. Gold means number 1. Gold is always a good look, especially when you pair it with burgundy, which is a trending color for the fall, just so you know. Okay, number 2, they signed Adrian Peterson.
He just got there. You can't do that, but okay. Continue.
Those weren't the rules. Those weren't the rules. They signed him. I'm a big fan of AP. Hope he does well there. So that's number 2. And number 3, the Funky Four from the marching band.
You know what's up. You know what's up. But they're not around anymore.
Again, you asked me to say something nice about the Washington Redskins. You didn't say that the Funky Four had to still be around. You just said say something nice. And the best part was watching them out on the field, dancing to play that funky, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so the best part was that they always went out there in the fourth quarter, and for some reason, that was always when the Redskins were losing.
Why did you have to go there? Why did you have to throw that insult in there? I mean, that's yeah.
Shots fired.
I don't even like you right now. Why am I doing the show with her? Okay. For the Cowboys, I've got, I guess, 3 things. Their stadium, Jerry's World, AT&T Stadium, it's pretty dope. 3 million square feet.
Only the best of the best.
Huge
It is
jumbotron.
elite.
It's pretty nice. Washington doesn't have anything to compare with it. The art gallery that they have, the food, gourmet nachos, roasted
We're talking
turkey
art
burgers.
and food, but you didn't want me to talk about the Funky Four?
Look, you know what? Let's not go there. Let's not go there, okay?
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Second thing, besides the amazing stadium, the color scheme is, I like blue and white. There's something about it. Yeah, they're America's team, and I hate them, but I can't deny the fact that those jerseys, are smooth. Those jerseys I like them. I just love that star, the Dallas Star, the blue and white, how they mesh well together.
America's team. America's team. How about them Cowboys?
Okay, third one, I like Dak Prescott. I like your boy Dak Prescott. But now, it's hard to root for Dakota.
No, you did not.
I did. Boom.
You called him Dakota?
I did call him Dakota.
It's Dak.
No, it's Dakota now.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
This is going to be tough.
Yeah, it is. I'm already losing my earpiece. Okay. Now, we've got beef, and there's plenty of beef to go around between NFL players this year. One of the best between DJ Swearinger and Terrell Pryor. All right, you got DJ Swearinger yapping at none other than Mr. Pryor, and Terrell's like, what's going on? What's going on? Bucked at my man Mercedes. What's your boy doing?
That's so outrageous. You cannot do that in the preseason. Like, you just can't do it. You got to set the tone. Okay. And then there's this one. So much fun to watch, but you kind of cringe at the same time. Cam Newton and Kelvin Benjamin.
So, you see Cam looking like, yo, what'd you say about me? Kelvin like, I ain't say nothing, man. I didn't say nothing. So the backstory is that Kelvin, he was saying some not so nice stuff about Cam. So Cam, like a man, addressed him. Like, yo, what's good?
It looks like Cam was holding an ice cream, and Kelvin went up and smacked it out of his hand, and he was like, what's your problem? You know, or when someone eats your French fry and you didn't say they could, that's what that looks like.
Cam was a real man for that one. Kelvin, soft.
One of the headlines this NFL preseason has been the new helmet rule. The NFL Competition Committee met today to discuss the rule that has had a lot of us frustrated. The committee reviewed feedback from players, coaches, and game officials and ultimately ruled that no change will be made. Chris, what are your thoughts?
I think it's ridiculous. It's how the people that are making, as we watch one of the plays that was flagged, you're kidding me, right? How is that a penalty for roughing the passer? What? How do you not lower your head when you're trying to tackle somebody that is going at like 20 miles per hour, 200 pounds, 300 pounds? It's not realistic. And I would say that the people who made this rule, I would love to see them not bring their head down when they're trying to tackle somebody in a kickoff or they're trying to do a flat-out sprint. It's not happening, okay?
Just push him.
Just push him. We're going to play flag football now? Flag football? No fun football. That's how I
No fun football. When we come back, has your team ever left you so disappointed that you just gave up?
Yes.
The Knicks had that effect on at least one fan. We'll get into it next on Best Served Fresh. Welcome back. The Knicks aren't generally thought of as fiscally responsible, but that doesn't apply to their fans. One Knicks fan has had enough. He's put his fanhood up for auction, starting the bidding at $1,973, 1973 being the last time the Knicks won a title. Whew, it's over $3,000 now, and that got us thinking, what fanhoods would be good investments to buy and sell? Let's start our stock watch with the fanhoods Chris would buy.
I would buy the Miami Marlins, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Cleveland Browns. For Miami, it's pretty easy. The Marlins, they got rid of D. Gordon, they got rid of Giancarlo Stanton, they got rid of Marcell Ozuna. They're not looking to win now. They are in last place in their division, 50-77. Absolutely terrible. Derek Jeter says he's got a plan and he puts out the best players and they want to win, but if you look at what he's doing, you know it's about the future, the long term, the farm market system. So I'm definitely buying the Marlins. Can't get much worse than that. With the Lakers, LeBron, baby. They haven't made the playoffs since 2013, but you better believe that with LeBron James there, they're going to make the playoff. There's going to be a whole lot more excitement. Who knows what they're going to do in 2019? The free agency could get a lot of big names, a couple big names, maybe Kawhi Leonard. You've got the interesting characters around LeBron, but look, any team that has LeBron, you know they're going to be 10 times better. Show me the money, people. Buy the Lakers. Tickets are going to be through the roof. Lastly, Cleveland. They've won one game in the last 2 years, 0-16 last year. The investment right now is cheap as heck. And what do you have to lose? Like, seriously, they got Baker Mayfield with the swagger, the moxie, can only go up. Myles Garrett, Jabril Peppers, Josh Gordon, if he stays on the straight and narrow. The Browns are going to be great, and that's why I'm buying them. Now, Mercedes, which fan hoods are you selling on?
Ooh. So the teams I'm selling, we got the New Jersey Devils, the San Antonio Spurs, and the Golden State Warriors. The New Jersey Devils, sell them. Last season was as good as it's going to get for Taylor Hall. If he falls off this season, no chance they're getting back into playoffs. They overachieved. You know it. I know it. We all know it. Their defense is thin, and their forward depth needs an impact guy. So I say sell them. Oh, and the Spurs. Oh, no. I'm a big fan of Popovich, but you've got to sell the Spurs. You just do. The hits keep on coming. Kawhi Leonard, Danny Green, Kyle Anderson, none of them are there anymore. And then Tony Parker went to Charlotte. And now Manu Ginobili is considering retirement. Do we even recognize the Spurs anymore? It's time to sell. And last but not least, the Golden State Warriors. Yeah, I said it. What? When you're at the top for this long, there's really only one way to go. We have Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant looking at free agency next summer, so I say better safe than sorry. Sell them while you can.
I'll just say this. You are nuts. You are nuts for that, okay? But up next, Mercedes selling on the Spurs, but the Raptors are doing everything they can to buy into their new star. Will it be enough, though, to keep him in Drake's country? We'll get into it when we return on Best Served Fresh.
Welcome back. It's time for Fresh Faces, starting with the Raptors doing everything they can to keep Kawhi Leonard long-term, including bringing over his friend as an assistant. Chris, what's your reaction?
I got the crying emoji, okay? It's laughable that they think hiring his friend will give them an opportunity for him to stay there. He didn't want to go there in the first place. Nope. So why do you think his friend is going to convince him to stay? No. All right. Now, LeBron, he might be doing a little recruiting of his own. He's been working out with both Kawhi and Kevin Durant. How you feeling about that?
I'm watching, you know? It's like I'm peeping through the grass. I'm watching so that in 2019, if the Lakers look a little different, I'm not surprised. I was ready for it, so I'm watching. That's all the time we have. This has been Best Served Fresh. For Chris Williamson, I'm Mercedes Owens. Have a great night.